The church at St. Luke's had its last service in April of 2014, and shortly thereafter, they emptied the church. The church sat vacant for 6 years. For 3 of those 6 years, all the utilities were off. We know what happens to vacant buildings with the utilities off in Cleveland during a rough winter. And yet OBCDC has worked diligently to try and figure out what to do with the property. It's a critical property. For 200 years, it's sat right at the corner of our main street and bringing community and bringing life to the neighborhood. When the United Church of Christ contacted us about accepting the church as a donation, we said we were only going to do it if we were going to do it with our neighbors and we're going to do it in collaboration. So the first call I made was to Pastor Reif over at the Pearl Road United Methodist Church to understand their situation, what their future looked like, what their desires were, because most folks drive down Pearl Road and don't even realize that they're 2 churches. They often get confused as one church, and so we wanted to work hand in glove with Pastor Reif and his community, which had also been on that corner for 200 years, to ensure that we have a bright future moving forward.
For a long time, we were really honored to be neighbors with St. Luke's, a United Church of Christ parish right next door until about 5 years ago. But for years and years, we worked together on a lot of projects. We celebrated Thanksgiving services together. We had joint youth groups. So they were really great neighbors. And then they closed, and unfortunately the building has been empty for the last few years and deteriorating. And it's been difficult for us as a church to be located behind and adjacent to a very similar structure that is closed. We've also just have had a really tough time watching this symbol of a community that they really cared about deteriorate.
I know that that building has a history here, but the condition of it, it's not, in my opinion, it's not reusable. There's some leakage in the roof, ADA non-compliant. So I think there was some reservation on people who came in there of like how much repair needs to be done, how they got to come out of their pocket to repair that, along with the cost of the property. So it just keeps adding up.
It's such a blessing to have a historic landmark like St. Luke's in the heart of your downtown core. But it's also a challenge because you've got this 100-plus-year-old building that's in disrepair. And so we set out on a master plan study. One of the things that the master plan study really brought to light for me was the green space on either side of the church. One of the green spaces we've been using for a couple of years now for our farmers market.
The Old Brooklyn Farmers Market started about 5 years ago, and we created the market just because we seen a need for food security in the Old Brooklyn neighborhood. Looking around, we don't have a full-service grocery store, so we decided why not bring like fresh and healthy fruits and vegetables to the community. So we were located at Low Park, which really isn't visible to the whole entire Old Brooklyn community. So in 2019, we decided to move the market to the front of Pearl Road United Methodist Church. So now we've been there for 2 years, and we have programs just because we've seen like a need for like fitness, and we had like cooking demos and nutrition classes just to show the community like how to cook the fruits and vegetables that we have at the market. And then we introduced like kids activities, so we had arts and crafts and reading, as well as like we had like health services on site.
Place matters because it directly tied to your daily experience and your resulting quality of life. With this pandemic, having the ability to walk to a neighborhood park or have access to daily amenities within a short walk or a close drive directly impacts your quality of life.
It's a phenomenal corner. You got 2 great anchors. You have the Metro Hospital across the street. You have the Cleveland Zoo down the street, the Metro Parks. So you have employment. Like, it's great site.
OBCDC knows that its job is to lead, particularly when no one else can or no one else will. And for 6 years, we were waiting for someone else to step up and lead on this corner. But the best ideas we got were gas stations and drive-through fast food chains. That's unacceptable to us. That's not acceptable to this community because we know we can do better. And so we stepped up knowing that we have a long road ahead of us, knowing that it was only going to be done in partnership with our neighbors, and knowing that anything we do was going to be a calculated and strategic risk. But we're going to do so because those are the values that we live as a neighborhood, and that's the vision that we aspire for this community. So we can't tell you today what a building might look like on that corner, what is going to go inside of the sanctuary, the education wing, or where the green space is going to be. But we can tell you that in 5 years from now, you're going to be very proud. You're going to be very proud that we stepped up when no one else would to save a building, to save a corner, save an opportunity where we can build community, we can honor our history, but we can look forward to the future.